Hello. Yes, another week on the run. So this week is week commencing Monday, 26th of July. So I have fuel cards prices for this week. So my BWOC or my block card, which is their own card, control for diesel, but uses a key fuels network. That is 105.07 plus the VAT. My UK fuels one, which is the Shell card I get through UK fuels. The original price they sent me was high 105s. I think it was 105.9 something. But I had got a text message saying, because I've not used the card for so long, they're giving me like a promo for this week of 104.15, and I just had to reply yes to this text, which I've done. I've not had any confirmation or whatever, so hopefully if I use it I get that price. If I don't, I'll be pretty nagged. But anyway, 104.15 is a pretty good price, so I'll use the UK Fuels Shell card this week. With the VAT, that's pretty much bang on 125 or 125.0 pence per mile. So yeah, it's week commencing Monday the 26th, but today's Wednesday, and it's my first day in a week, so it's going to be a 3-day week this week. I did mention at the end of last week, the van was in the garage about this AdBlue issue, or anti-pollution system. So I took it in on Monday. It's a nice day. Took my bike along because I had to take the one in Stourbridge because it's the nearest Nissan garage to me that will fit the van. They've got like a big enough ramp for this van, even though they did it at the Sutton one before. Now they're saying they can't do it there. So anyway, took it to Stourbridge. Another area reasonably well. Took my bike, went out for a day's riding. They phoned me up later in the afternoon and said they know what the issue is now, but they're going to need it until it don't be ready until Tuesday. I was like, great, okay. So apparently it wasn't the NOx sensor, even though that's the fault code it kept pinging up. Obviously the Master Tech, when I took it on a Saturday, it was just like the normal mechanic there who downloaded it, but the Master Tech only works Monday to Friday, and once he's seen it, apparently he's done about 20 of these. There's something wrong with the programming in the ECU for the engine. So you had to send all the readings from diagnostic computer he's got to Nissan UK apparently, because it is an entirely Renault van. It's about the badges, this van. They have to then contact Renault Europe, and then Renault Europe send the updates for the ECU through. So that's why we didn't get them until late in the afternoon on the Monday, and there's like 4 hours worth of updates to do on it. And they take about an hour each. So yeah, basically I had to leave the van with them and cycle back up on the Tuesday, pick it up. Got to have a bit of a chat with the mechanic. Quite a nice, funny, black country guy. Yeah, he's a funny guy. Yeah, and he's saying basically he's done about 20 of these now, and it normally sorts the problem, and it usually throws up the fault that mine was showing. It's quite a common thing. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I haven't seen the light today. But even after I'd had the sensor, the O2 sensor or NOx sensor replaced first time, it still used to, when I started it up, I first turned on the ignition, I used to get a massive flash up saying check anti-pollution system. But I kind of the light never came on, so I thought I'll just mention it at the next service, which is what I did basically. Even though the light did come on before it got to the service quite a lot, as I've mentioned before. But when I start it up now, I don't get that message, so that's a good sign. So I'm hoping that's that all done, sorted now. That'll be nice. So I've lost 4 days without problem. The Monday, Tuesday this week, and then there's 2 Mondays previously. First to diagnose it. Obviously, I think they diagnosed it wrong, just replaced the sensor, and I didn't fix it. At the other garage, the other branch of the same Nissan network, Westway Nissan. Yeah, so that's that update. So yeah, I started a bit late this morning. I thought last night I was absolutely knackered. I think Monday's ride had kicked in, and I was absolutely shattered. And this morning I was a bit lazy getting up, a bit of a lion. So I didn't start looking for jobs until 9:20. but I got a job really quick, like 5 minutes. Shipper I've done work for before, and when I do work for the shipper, it's always been picking up from this place the other side of Walsall, 4 miles from home, like a sign printers, and they do banners and that kind of thing. Real quick load. It's a short wheelbase job. I quoted it 85 pence a mile, including the 4 miles to get there. It came in as 68 quid, and it's going to Stockport, South Manchester, which is a good place to go. Gets me rolling. Yeah, so when I picked it up, some banners and a box. Going to Stockport Council, to the town hall. Proper loading bay there. I got that off. Usual thing then, middle of town. Nowhere really to just park up and watch the feed. Got in the van. What I normally do in that situation is like look for a supermarket or a retail park in Google Maps. That's pretty close. Put it in satellite view, and you can normally pick them out, or search supermarket. It's like less than a couple of miles to a Tesco Extra. Massive thing. Parked up in a car park there to look at the feed, done with dinner, and use the facilities there, the toilet and that. So I was there watching the feed, and I was kind of thinking at that point, right, I need to get a decent job in now. Like, it needs to be close towards like 150 quid for me to hit my target for the day. Trying like to hit my target for the day off 2 jobs, and then if you get a 3rd job in, it's a bonus, even if it takes you late in the evening. I'd done a few longer jobs, but they were more like smaller van jobs, so I was quoting quite high for them. Didn't get them. But then a job pinged up a banner, and it wasn't far. It was like Manchester. No, sorry, it was Runcorn, WA7, going to Oldham OR1. For some reason I selected this and looked at the job properly, and it's a good job I did, because it said it was only 40 miles. I was 30 miles from it, and it said pays 125, long wheelbase. I thought, I'll have some of that then. So I put 125, but I thought I'm like 40 minutes from it. Probably somebody else is going to get it. No, they rang them up and got it. It was alcohol. Which I'm not bothered out of that kind of money. It's like £3 a mile. And all miles was 70 miles for 125. Went and picked it up, and it's a booze place I've been to before, the depot, but for another shipper, the one I mentioned before. They rarely ever say it's alcohol. They don't say it's alcohol and all that stuff, and they try and get you to do it for like low normal rates. So we're with a different shipper and getting paid crazy money for that job. Picked up, it was actually a pallet of Red Bull, which I loaded on as a pallet. So I was a bit dicey about the pallet. I said to the lady, and she goes, "Oh no, they'll take it at the nightclub I was delivering to." I was like, "Alright, if you insist." And then some other stuff that I handballed in, because it was on a pallet but it wasn't wrapped, so it had just fallen off, and there's glass bottles and stuff, so I just handballed it off. Onto the van, went to tip it. I've heard of these nightclubs before. I think there might be like a national chain of nightclubs. When I got there, the problem was there's loads of like stormy weather around the northwest today. Really heavy downpours, thunder and lightning, and I've just been driving around, and I can see them in the distance. Like these big black clouds, and you can see it's really pissing it down, because it's just like you can see the rain. And I drove through one on the way to the pickup in Runcorn, and it's like down to like 40 mile an hour on the motorway, because it's just so bad, all traffic. When I got to the pickup, thankfully it was dry, not raining. But when I got to the tip, the nightclub, there was a storm there, thunder and lightning. But I just had to tip it because there was 3 vans and I was in a queue, and so the van got a bit soaked. I put my waterproof jacket on. So yeah, my waterproof jacket I've got is orange. So I normally wear my yellow high-vis vest The jacket I've got is orange just because I put that on if the site insists on having orange. So it's good to have them 2 different colours. Yeah, tipped it. Handball off. Obviously the guy was busy sorting out some stock he'd previously been just delivered, and then he gave me a hand. Then he had to go through the paperwork and highlight what I actually had on board, because I was only delivered 1 of 3 or 4 vans, I can't remember, I didn't know exactly. Anyway, I got that one tipped, and I go from there. Parked up somewhere. Yeah, I went to a retail park to park up, similar thing, because I was like right bang in the middle of Oldham at OL1. Not that Oldham's a massive place. No parking, or it's like permit only, or pay here and stuff. You know, pay by phone and all that stuff. Can't be bothered with that. Not be paying for that. So, short drive to a retail park. And then I thought, well, I'm not far off target here, so I just, like, a basic job would get me over for the day. I'm on good pence per mile. And then a job pinged up with the shipper that I normally do with jobs from the depot I've just done. It pinged up from a Manchester postcode to Liverpool, and it said in the notes this time they started putting alcohol. Must be willing to do alcohol, which is a good thing, because some people, as I mentioned before, don't do it on religious grounds, and some people just can't lift kegs, which is fair enough. You know, like 50 litre or 11-gallon keg of beer is 64 kilograms. So that's, you know, some people don't weigh that, some adults don't weigh that, you know what I mean? So if you've got any kind of bad back or anything like that, you just got to avoid them. But anyway, so I knew it was beer. It was 1100 kilograms, which is pretty much getting up towards most I can carry. It was 36 miles, and I was 5 miles from it, so I thought I'll do it for 60, and I know they're going to, if I get it, they're going to try and knock me down. I'm just going to stay at 60. Bid on some other jobs, longer jobs, but they rang me up. And yeah, true to form. Well, first of all, he says, blah, 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 still available. Oh, yeah, I'll send that over. And he goes, oh, yeah. Oh, so you quoted 60. Can you do it for 50? I thought, sounds like, you know, just going to send it over. And then he's like trying to knock me down. And I was like, no, I can't do 50. Well, you're asking 60, I'm asking 50. Can you meet in the middle at 55? And I'm like, no, 60 is my bottom price for that. Because to be honest, kind of getting a bit irritated by these shippers. Not shippers in general, this one. Quite honest, not massively keen to do work for them. The feed was busy for someone else, you know what I mean? So I just stuck at 60, and he's like, oh yeah, I see you got good feedback, and what was it? Yeah, if you do this for us, we'll might have some more work for you tomorrow and all that stuff. So can you do it for 55? And I'm like, no, my price is 60. I just kept coming out with stuff and saying 55, and I was like, no, really, mate, it's 60, or, you know, can't do it. I'll just have to find, you know, so another job. Says, yeah, okay, just on this occasion, then, okay, we'll do 60. All right. Get the job through, 55 on the job. So I rang them up straight away, get some lady, different person in the call centre, or quite a few of them, I think. And she says, oh yeah, just crack on, and I'll get them to ring you back. And I'm like, well, I can't crack on, and I need to, if I'm not doing this job, I need to start looking for other jobs. So, you know, just get them to phone me back straight away. And he did ring me back and apologise, but was it an accident? I don't know. Given the benefit of the doubt, but so anyway, yeah, that's kind of why I don't really want to, not massively keen to work for them. Because, you know, it's 1100 kilograms of alcohol, so you're always going to have, I haven't got a tail lift, blatantly, so it's all handball off, heavy handball. Everyone knows alcohol jobs pay more, just purely because of the type of work it is. So anyway, yeah, got it over there. And again, this is a depot I've been to before. A few weeks ago I picked up from there and went down to Llandudno, North Wales, but that was for a different shipper. So the 2 beer places I've been to today I've been to before, but never for these shippers. Yeah, so I've got actually loaded there quite quick. Kegs of beer this time, 12 kegs and some loose cases of booze. It was right in the middle of Manchester, not Manchester, Liverpool, L1. Couldn't actually get to the pub because the road you're supposed to use is all cordoned off roadworks. They're redoing the paving slabs or something like that. Yeah, so I had to park like the next road along, and it was like a passageway, pedestrian passageway only. And they had one trolley. I gave them my trolley to use. So I had two of their guys from the bar, and I was just literally just unloading the van, unloading them their trolleys, and then they were taking it and coming back. So I didn't have to do any trolley work. So I was there a little while, but not really too fussed. Pretty busy, just enjoyed the view, if you know what I mean. And when I got to this pub, walked in there to tell me I was there and stuff. I was a bit taken back. It wasn't a strip club or anything. What was it called? Coyote Ugly Club or something? Coyote Ugly Saloon. And there's like a woman or a lady on the bar dancing. You know, dressed, but like hot pants and denim hot pants, and not wearing a great deal, but not like stripped or anything. And that's at like 7 o'clock in the evening. Anyway, yeah, so that was quite interesting. And then from there, that's it now. So I've done 253 today. So I'm over target. It's like I'll try and average 220. I just worked out my pounds per mile, including getting out of Liverpool, is £1.36 today. That's pretty good. So that's a good start to my week, even if it is a late start. Weather now is pretty damn miserable. I've had some chips from Chippy over there. So last week, this time of the week, I think it was like 32 degrees. It was showing on my temp gauge in the van. Today the highest I've seen is 15, and it's on and off rain and thundery downpours and stuff, so couldn't be much different. So I know it's a long intro, but that's Wednesday up till the first day of the week, but end of Wednesday done. Right, Thursday evening now. Definitely tell the nights are drawing in, about 9 o'clock. Lights failing. Yeah, so this morning started looking for jobs about 7:45, which is a bit late really. I keep saying that, don't I? But I actually got a job by 8:15. So I was in Liverpool, not far from me. The M62 comes into Liverpool, because I parked there purposely because it's easy to get around and get to jobs. A job pinged up from St Helens, which is like 11 miles away, going down to Oxted, which is right at the bottom of the M25. I think the M25 is a clock. It's at 6 o'clock, just off. Picking up one pallet, 400 kilograms. It was down as a long wheelbase job. Easily would have gone on a short wheelbase van, maybe even a midi van, or some small vans might have been able to take 400 kilograms as well, ones that can take a UK pallet. But anyway, not complaining about that. Went to pick it up from some sort of like roofing supplies type warehousey place, wholesale type place, and dropped it off to building site. It was like some screed products to look like some posh flats, and kind of look like they're doing the finishing touches there. Oxted, very posh looking place on the outskirts of sort of like London sort of thing. I can imagine prices there are really expensive. This is just off the high street. The high street, it just kind of like, you get the idea with some places you can just tell by the high streets, how affluent it was. And this place, yeah, very affluent. Yes, to tip that, pretty straightforward. Although the guy, this is something that never happened to me before. It was a building site, and because I didn't have my trousers on, even though I had them in the bag, but they let me on the site, reversed up, and they said, "Oh, you can't get out of the van because you've got shorts on." But I could have got changed in the front or whatever. So they said, "Oh, we'll unload if you're alright with that." So yeah, they just had to unstrap it, handball it off anyway because they didn't have a forklift. But I said to the guy, he was a security guy, but you need to take it all. I can't keep the pallet or the packaging. all has to stay here. It's a one-way journey, usual story. Need to go to the next place empty. And so, oh yeah, of course, yeah, I'll make sure they take the pallets. He wasn't the guy accepting it, and he told the guy at the back who's needed the goods. And then at the end, the guy, not the security guard, he'd gone off. The guy who unloaded it comes to me to sign their paperwork or whatever. I says, "You've taken the pallet, haven't you?" And he goes, "Oh no, you'll have to take that." And I just said to him, "Nope, nope," and he didn't challenge at all. He just like gave in straight away, went and took it off. He was just trying it on, really, trying a fast one. A bit annoyed with people trying fast ones this week. So yeah, because I could see in the mirror they're taking all these bags of stuff off, but I couldn't see a pallet, I couldn't see the wrapper or whatever, and I saw he took that off afterwards. From there, went and parked up out of town, so obviously middle of town, can't really park up. Just found some side road to park up. So when did I get down there? Job took me just over 5 hours. I priced it with this one. It was actually priced it all miles at 85p was £207, but I thought I'll go in a bit cheaper because so I took a tenner off 197 because I'd done so well yesterday. Pounds per mile, £1.36, whatever yesterday turned out to be. I thought I'd use some of that to sort of go in a bit keen and get going sooner. So it was £197. It worked out at 81 pence a mile, all miles, after taking the tenner off. So £197. So if you think about it, £25 an hour, it's near enough 8 hours, isn't it? The job took me just over 5. Or would have took me 5 hours if I didn't stop to grab a sandwich and use the toilet on the way down. So that's pretty good, you know. Hourly rate. That's where the longer jobs pay off, really. Where I go in a bit cheaper for them. From there, I sat there maybe an hour or so, and then I was looking then, hoping to get like a longer job or whatever, but a job pinged up from RH. There's 2 pickups, like RH12, sort of that sort of area, Red Hill area ish, in and around Crawley kind of thing. 19 miles loaded. It's with a shipper, big shipper, that's renowned for not paying very well, and they normally put on pays blah blah blah, and it's normally like really low rates, but this one was pays 60 quid. Long wheelbase van, 2 collections, 19 miles loaded. I was 11 miles from it, got it, did it, so 30 miles all in for 60 quid. So that worked out pretty well. And the 2 collections are pretty straightforward. Like, one was 1 bag of stuff, and the other one was like 17 loose items, all small stuff. Turned up to the parcel depot that I was delivering into, and it's nothing like the DPD one last week or whatever. That was a bit of a nightmare. This one, straight in, they said, yeah, chuck it on the belt, but it's just like a roller belt, roller thing. Yeah, just chucked them on there, side loading door, parked next to it, put them on there, they signed, straight out, like a 5-10 minute drop, or a 10-minute drop maybe. Yeah, so that went really well, pretty well. That put me on 257 for the day, so a target for the day again. So I'm now ahead of 70 quid ahead of schedule. That was the last thing I did. I tipped about half, or did bid on some other jobs into the evening now. But tomorrow, with it being such a short week, is Friday, so I've got to look to get home tomorrow and get an extra 150 to sort of meet my target, which over 3 days would be 660. So that's what I was trying to average. So that's my target. As long as I hit what I'm trying to average, mostly I'd go above it. So yeah, over the last few weeks I've done shorter weeks, and like I said, last week was a bit of a tourist. I haven't quite met it, so it would be nice to meet it this week, just because I've not done it in a few weeks. But anyway, that's the end of Thursday. In the tramp here. So, quite a nice-ish suburbs around here, not a dodgy area. Actually, there's a Chinese on the corner which had some fried rice. There's a car park sort of around here, loads of free spaces, and there's no parking restrictions or anything. It's dead quiet. Although it is going to rain pretty hard tonight according to the forecast, early or late morning, mid-morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I will be putting my earplugs in, otherwise it just wakes me up because it's like ridiculously loud on the roof. Yeah, so that is to the end of Thursday. Right, Friday afternoon now, late afternoon, just before 6, and I've just pulled up outside home. Not the best day today, one of them days, so decent night's sleep last night. Got up about, well, I started bidding about 7:30, and the feed was already, fairly busy by that time, because normally, 9 o'clock's more when it picks up. But yeah, bid on quite a few jobs. I was in Crawley, so I'm obviously getting jobs from like London, including as far as like central London, so that's probably why it's quite busy. And then also down towards Brighton and stuff from that part of the coast. So a lot of jobs picking up that I was too far from, or going into like London, which I really don't want to do anytime really, but especially not on a Friday when I'm trying to get home. So it's been fairly selective, but I did bid on a fair few jobs, including some that are quite close to me, going to sort of like north, further enough north to be worthwhile kind of thing, and some up to the Midlands. And because I was kind of doing really well on a pence per mile, I went in what I thought was, quite keen to try and get them, but didn't get them. But eventually I did get a job about 20 past 10, so nearly 3 hours to get my first job quoting. Wasn't far from it, 11 miles from it, in a place called Hassocks, which is on the way from Crawley to Brighton, just off the A23. It was going to East Midlands Airport, like close to Derby, between Derby and Leicester. I was there last week at DHL, but wasn't there. I delivered to. I picked up from some big industrial sort of, well, not industrial, sort of like stores kind of place, warehouse. It was plain parts, 2 small boxes. It was a small van job, going to one of the hangars, some obviously aircraft maintenance company in East Midlands Airport. So yeah, it was a small van job. I worked it out loaded miles. I did actually quote this one 85 pence a mile. Was it 85 pence a mile? I think it could have been. And all miles it was 81. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's something like that. The reason I went in not quite as keen as I've done on some of the others on this was it was like 11:15 when it pinged up. Sorry, 10:15, and it's pick up before 11, so it's not the usual pick up within the next hour, which is, I think, is the default. So it kind of says to me it's urgent. They sent it through without ringing me, which is a bit naughty, but I was just glad to get a job. Real quick collection, real quick tip. The only issue with this job is it was 170 miles loaded, which really, it was all dual carriage rail motorway all the way. So if the roads are running free, you're kind of looking at like, running well, you're looking at like 3 hours for that, if there's no hold-ups. When I put it into Google, it said 4 hours, and it showed loads of red marks around the M25 and the M1. Thought, great. So it was showing 4 hours. In the end, it took me 5.25 hours because it was just one of them journeys. Once I got to the M25, it was like stop-start crawling pretty much most of it that I was on it. M1 was a lot of the same. So I rang the shipper and told them, and they just said, yeah, it's fair enough. Yeah, it's gone crazy today. It's a shocker. And I was listening to the traffic updates on Radio 2, and yeah, bit of a nightmare. So I got 147 for that. Got me pretty close to home. Didn't tip it until like 20 to 4:30. And then I had just over an hour's drive from there back home, empty. I did check the feed to see if there was anything, but there wasn't. And I thought I just had enough. Get home. So yeah, 147 for that, and I had to earn 150 today to hit my kind of target. I try and average of 220 per day. So I would have been £3 short. So it's not the end of the world, but Still not actually met it for the last 3 weeks. Been slightly under for the last 3 weeks. It's just kind of got me thinking this about Fridays, and it was like a chaos Friday today. Oh, another chaotic Friday. I've noticed this the last month or so on Fridays. Quite often I get I've been quite lucky in getting a job early doors to get home, and I'm thinking, oh great, I'm going to be home like early afternoon here. But in the end, I end up getting back like late afternoon because, you know, the roads are not really loads of traffic on the roads. Got me thinking also last week when I did that moto services job and speak to the manager there saying they're like crazy busy. Obviously now it's summer holidays, so I think holiday traffic on Fridays, you know, it's renowned, but with lots of people staycationing or UKationing, because for me a staycation is when you actually stay at home and do DIY and stuff and go on days out, not stay in the UK, but anyway. They're calling it a staycation when you go on holiday in the UK. Less people are going abroad, of course, so I think that's just making the motorways, particularly on a Friday, absolutely mad busy. The services today, I did stop at the service on the way up for a quarter of an hour, well 10 minutes, just to use the toilet, and they're just ridiculously busy in there, you know. Long gone are them days of ghost town services and empty roads, aren't they? But obviously that's good because we're getting back closer to normal. But anyway, that's the week, so not made target overall. I was doing well up until last night in terms of pence per mile, but today I've gone in a bit low for that job and then done 41 miles home empty, so wait and see. I've not done the figures yet, and I'll do the summary, weekend summary. You'll have to wait to see if I've hit it. Might not care, but I'm obsessed about it, I know. But yeah, I kind of like to have my sort of goals, if you like. But anyway, that is the week on the run done. Right, weekend summary now. So sat on the beach in North Wales. Conscious that I think everything I filmed this week was in the van, just me in the bulkhead of the van, so mix it up a bit. Yeah, so only the 3 days on the week run this week: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just, as I said, van was in the garage. Monday, Tuesday, light still hasn't come on. Touch wood. That's it sorted. Like I said, I'm not getting that message when I start it up now, so hopefully that's all sorted now. Yeah, so for the 3 days, so the Wednesday was 3 jobs, 68, 125 and 60, which is 253 for the day. Thursday, 2 jobs, 197 and 60, 257 for the day, which is the best day, just about. Wednesday. And then the Friday, bit of a nightmare with traffic and a bit late getting the first job, just a 1 job at 147. I think I was quite a few jobs at 147. I was thinking, you know, maximum break in snooker, I seem to bid that a lot, and it seems to be my kind of number for some reason. So total 657, which is 219 a day. So as I said, didn't quite hit my 220 a day target. I mean, near enough, near as damn it done it, but still that's the 3rd week where I haven't actually hit it. The last week, as like I say, a bit of a tourist with a chunk of it. Total miles, 680 miles, so yeah, I wasn't sure after that Friday what that was going to do to my pence per mile, but because it was well over £1 at that point, it only dropped down to 96.6 pence a mile. So when I set out, I thought if I do average 85 pence a mile, that's the target minimum, and I've still not gone below that, so yeah, that's a pretty solid pence per mile. No extra costs this week, no tolls or anything. So I reckon after the VAT bit I get to keep on a flat rate scheme, minus my costs, my fixed costs and my per mile costs, my variable costs, that leaves 446, which is 148 a day. So that's pre-tax, pre-income tax and national insurance. Yeah, so that's all right. That's kind of up towards 150 a day, which I'm trying to do, or try and average that. I'll be happy. Yeah. So that was the week. Like I say, only 3 days. The thing is, this week it really stuck me about Fridays. Because people say, Friday's the best day on the CX, or the busiest day, which you might think that makes it the best day, but for me, in the summer, particularly what's going on with lots of people holiday in the UK, the motorways in particular on the Fridays, it was horrendous. Yes, horrendous. Yeah, yesterday, 'cause it's Saturday now, Saturday evening, and it's been bad the last month, I'd say. On the Fridays, thinking, get a job early doors, going close to home, thinking, oh, I might be done by early afternoon, and I'm not back until late afternoon. Although it seems to take longer to get home on a Friday. So I reckon the best day of the week at the moment is Thursday, because it's kind of picking up towards the end of the week, but it isn't absolutely crazy with traffic. So yeah. Anyway, that's the week. So next week I'm planning to do the first 5-day week in a long time, because this week was 3 days, last week was 4 days, and the week before that was 4 days. So I've not done a full 5-day week. Well, the last 3 weeks have been less than 5 days. Yeah. So that's it for the week. As ever, any tips for me or anyone else who watches this video, please put them below. And if you can like and subscribe, that all helps. I don't normally say that, but yeah, it's handy if you can. Just kind of helps promote the channel, kind of thing. The more people get to watch it, the more people get to comment, and better it is for everyone, me and anyone who watches, who's either looking to get into it or doing it and wants to see it from another perspective. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching.